All right, we had Donald Trump going down to North Carolina and doing that whole PR stunt in front of the the business that was wiped out by the hurricane. And while he was there, he actually bragged about supplying and bringing down truckloads and truckloads of supplies and collecting donations for the hurricane victims and started a GoFundMe for the hurricane victims and talked about in detail how much stuff he's doing for that town and talked about these specific trucks that are coming down to not only deliver the supplies but also help clean up and everything else. Vital stuff for the hurricane victims. Turns out the supplies that he was taking credit for is something called Samaritans First, which is a nonprofit organization that does stuff like this, so similar to the Red Cross. And all of the things he claimed to have paid for through this GoFundMe that raised millions and millions of dollars, he never paid for, which leads people to wonder what happened to that money from the GoFundMe. Well, with a little bit of digging, you find out that this GoFundMe was actually put up by Meredith O'Rourke. Meredith O'Rourke, if you remember a couple of videos that I made a while ago with the Butler assassination attempt, the Butler PR stunt, and the families of Corey and the other victims of the PR stunt, um, raised about $9 million in a fundraiser, also sponsored and put together by this very same one and only Meredith O'Rourke. Well, Meredith O'Rourke is the woman that is in charge of the financial aspect of the Trump campaign. Now, both of these GoFundMe programs in the small print actually talk about a huge majority percentage, 80 to 90% of what's raised, actually going to the Trump campaigns, not for where it was supposed to go. Now, this shouldn't surprise anybody. This is one of the scams that Donald Trump does regularly. And a little bit of a reminder, we have Steve Bannon, who's currently in jail, right now in jail, and he's about to get out of jail. As soon as he gets out of jail, New York has this big case waiting for him for a GoFundMe that he set up to build the wall. That GoFundMe raised 20 to 30 million dollars. Not a dime of it went to building any wall, and it all of a sudden disappeared. So he's going to serve additional time on that. And then we have the Trump kids who stole $2 million from the kids' cancer charities. Now that's $2 million from cancer charities, children with cancer, that went directly into the Trump family and Donald Trump's businesses. Not to be outdone, Miss Lara Trump, the singer extraordinaire who's bound to win tons and tons of Grammys, actually stole $1.9 million from a dog charity. The way she stole money from this dog charity is she directed the money to, spending it at the golf courses. And by spending it, I mean $225,000 just in one weekend alone at Mar-a-Lago. $1.9 million from the dog charity spent at Trump's properties. This is something that the Trump family does. This is something they've always done. They always try and take a percentage of everything going on. They always try and control the narrative, and they always try and put something in a big, nice, shiny package that makes it look like they're doing good for the world, but really they're just lining their own pockets. Hell, even the Republicans, remember back in the day, long time ago, when the Republicans said that when they used Donald Trump's name to boost their campaign, they have to pay 10% of all the money that's raised by their campaign right into Donald Trump's, pocket. When Laura Trump took over the purse strings of the Republican National Convention and all the money that was raised for all the Republicans that were running for office right here, right now in 2024, all of that money disappeared and went to Donald Trump because she was in charge of it. This is something this man does. This is something this family does. This is not new. This will not stop. This is who this family is. And it's not just DJT. It's DJT Jr. Eric Trump personally was caught stealing millions of dollars from a charity as well. This is stuff they do. Even the daughter-in-laws are in on it. There was $95 million from the inauguration fund that disappeared, just vanished. There were manipulations in the bookings when all of the events for the inauguration were booked at Trump International Hotel. In the same ballrooms that they charge $5,000 for regular people, they charge $50,000 or $100,000 per night for the Trump inauguration parties. That is how they funnel money. That is what they do. Every time Donald Trump went and played golf, the money that was paid per room per Secret Service agent was actually 10 times, if not more, the amount than they charge everybody else. That was the government rate. This is what the Trump family does. This is what they're in trouble. This is what Donald Trump's in trouble for in New York, with inflating the value of his properties to make more money, and then when it comes time to pay taxes, he deflates the value. That's manipulation right there of financial records, which is illegal. So all of this ties together, and charitable fraud is a big problem, which is why the Trump family, Donald Trump and his kids, are not permitted to run or have anything to do with a charity anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely ridiculous. Every single time you hear Donald Trump talk about something he's donating to in charity or something he did in charity, you can make damn sure he not only put in a dime of it, he's somehow benefiting from it. The charity is Donald J. Trump. It just has different names. And even if someone else is running it, you can be damn sure if he has anything to do with it, near or far, there's a big chunk of that money, a majority of that money, that's going to Donald J. Trump himself. So MAGA, Republicans, whoever the hell is putting money into these charities, even though they sound really, really good, when Corey's daughter, the firefighter that was killed at the rally, when she saw what Trump was doing, even though her family loved Donald Trump, didn't pick up the phone when Joe Biden called, but loved Donald Trump. When they saw his fundraiser and they read the fine print and realized that this money is going to be split 3 different ways, and by money they mean the 10% that's left after Donald Trump takes his piece, she launched her own fundraiser. I did a video pushing everybody to donate to that fundraiser. I think she raised $4 or $5 million for her family. That went directly to her family. Trump is a con man. He always has been. He always will be. I don't care who you voted for. That's a fact about that man. You need to deal with that. You need to accept that. And you need to understand, no matter how much you yell, how much you bitch, how much you scream, that he's just an angelic human being, a good Christian. You can't be more wrong. So wake the hell up. Whatever you do, for God's sake, don't you dare put that man back in the White House.